As soon as the terrain becomes slightly unstable, yep, there it is. We get that rattly, clunky noise. I'm not gonna say who it is, but I kind of want to call out some work on a conceptual level so people can avoid getting into these situations in the future. Now, this particular car, it went to an independent shop, and they were complaining of a brake issue. I think it was a noise, or complaining of a noise, and they were complaining of like a rattly, clunky noise going over bumps. Now, that rattly, clunky noise, it's almost going to be struts or strut mounts, usually the mounts, every time. Now, the mount is the area of the strut up at the top where it bolts to the chassis of the car, okay? Now, if we look a little lower in the wheel well here, we can see it's got a new strut cartridge. This is the area that acts like a shock absorber. The difference between a shock and a strut is that this shock absorber incorporates the spring as one assembly. So you don't have multiple parts, you just have one part. Again, at the top of it, there's a mount where it bolts on. Now, the issue is when there's a noise, people go, oh, well, that's a strut noise, we replace the struts. So what happens is they work up an order and they price the cartridge, not understanding that the cartridge itself is just an absorption unit. It doesn't have any bushings in it. The moving parts are all internal, and it's very rare for that strut to actually make a noise. More often than not, you're gonna find that it's the mount that makes the noise. So what happened here is this customer had these front struts replaced, and they just disassembled the unit, transferred over the spring and the isolators, and then put the thing back in. Trouble is the noise is still there. Now, this kind of situation can happen for a multitude of reasons. A lot of it is lack of training, actually. I said something about the conceptual term of making a repair, and I would speculate that, well, it's industry known that if you have a strut noise, you replace the struts. But that doesn't limit the repair to just the cartridge, because on occasion sometimes you need to put mounts in it. Actually, I think you should put a mount in every time you replace the strut assemblies. So I have to recommend that the vehicle owner of this particular Toyota that I have yet to introduce returns and brings this back to the people who had originally performed the service, giving them the opportunity to correct the error. You know, you give the company the opportunity. Don't bring it back to them and make a comeback. Give them the opportunity to resolve the situation, because I think that's a better way of looking at it. Now, there is some stuff on this car that I am going to end up doing. We are going to circle back and address the brake issue. Again, they installed new pads and rotors for a brake noise. I did just drive the car, and I hear a horrendous brake noise. However, it is not coming from the brand new front pads and rotors. You see that nice patina on those? It didn't come from the fronts, it's coming from the left rear, is what I heard. So let's go back real quick. Actually, I need to back way up. We're super far outside of format here. I have not even introduced the car. This is a 2013 Toyota Corolla LE model with approximately, key was stuck, 139,537 miles on the odometer. There, now we can get back to business. So let's go over here, let's pull these rear wheels off and take a look at the brakes inside of there. I believe this vehicle is equipped with drum brakes and not discs in the rear, but we shall see. There is one other minor complaint. We're gonna address that in just a moment. The customer states that when the vehicle is first started in the morning, he hears a loud squealy noise from the belt. Again, it was an issue with the other shop. He had mentioned that noise to the other folks, and they said they could not find an issue. So we're gonna take a look at that belt noise, or engine noise, or under hood noise, as soon as we figure out what we're gonna do with these brakes. I would hate to find that they put the easy brakes on, the discs, and didn't pay any attention to the rear drums. That would be upsetting, because that would mean that the shop failed to perform a complete and comprehensive brake system evaluation. There we go. Put that over there. Okay, hammer time. Need some impact encouragement here. There we go. Pop goes the brake drum. Get this thing off right here. Whoo, what do we got? A lot of brake dust in there, look at that. Lots and lots of brake dust. Okay, shoe thickness is okay. Not terrible. It's actually really good for the mileage. Yepper. Okay, so we did fail to do a good brake inspection on this vehicle. They didn't pull these drums off because one would theorize that if they did, they would at least dump all the brake dust out of it, and that also never happened. So what I'm going to recommend is that I clean and adjust these. Obviously they need a little bit of adjustment because there is some wear. That's all brake friction material, so there is a little bit of wear. We'll just give it a couple clicks on the adjuster wheel, but more importantly we're going to clean all this dust out and prevent that buildup of dust from rolling around, because that is what causes some of the noise on a drum brake. That dust will end up between the shoes and the friction surface on the drum, and it will cause these to vibrate, thus making noise. So a simple little bit of maintenance on this will handle that situation, no problem. We're back on the right rear. Let's go ahead and pull this one off and take a look under this drum as well, just to make sure that nothing flew apart. Like I said, I didn't hear any noise out of this side. I heard all the noise out of the other side. My apologies for not taking you guys with me on my test drive. I actually didn't think I was going to make a video about this car. Shoo, you just got to take my word for it. I may be many things, but a liar I am not, so you can believe me. More hammer. This is kind of too much hammer for this, but it's the closest one. Become disconnected. Now. Wiggle, wiggle, yeah. What do we have? Whoa, look at that. That's bad. That's a lot of dust. Okay. That stuff out of here. And again, minimal wear overall, just a lot of dust inside. Okay, so we're gonna do a clean and adjust procedure on the rears. Let's go ahead and let this car down some, and we're gonna restock the engine and see if we cannot hear that belt squealy situation going on from under the hood. Down and up. There we go. Let's see what we get here. All right, there's our belt. I speculate that it's a belt. I did hear the noise. Tell you what, I'm gonna park you guys right over here and we'll go ahead and start this engine. You listen for the belt while I put the key. Beginning engine starting sequence now. Yeah, I heard it start. Try it again. Okay, that definitely sounds like a belt noise to me. Let's see. Yeah, it does have a lot of wear to it. It's probably the original. Oh, yeah, a little bit of stretch in it. It's a fixed belt. There's no automatic tensioner. You have to set tension by moving one of the pulleys. But that one's pretty loose. A lot of glazing on that belt. Let's go ahead and pull that thing out and inspect it real quick. What we're gonna do is, oh, it looks like the adjuster is here on the alternator. So let's go ahead and pull the alternator bolts loose. We don't have to take it out. We just take this one loose right here, take that one loose right there, and that should be able to push that nader forward, and that's gonna slack the belt off, and then I can remove it. Now, if Toyota memory serves, I can do this with a 12mm socket and an electric ratchet. Let's find out here. Oh, no, this one. There's two bolts that hold this nader, one at the bottom, and then there's this one right here that locks in that adjuster lug. Take that one loose, and we'll loosen this one. Yeah, that's backing out. Now I should be able to just push that nader forward. Get in there, nader. It is moving. There. That should give me the slack to pull that belt off. And survey says, yepper, right there. Let's pull this guy out. What do we have here? Yeah, a lot of glazing. Decent amount of wear in there. There's some cracks starting to form. Nothing crazy. This belt would be okay to last for a little while, but while we're here, I'm throwing a new one in. They're cheap. That's what we're gonna do. Let me go get that thing ordered. Alrighty, serpentine belt is on the way. I'm gonna go ahead and lift this thing up. We're gonna prepare to maintain the rear drum brakes. Beginning overlooked maintenance now. It's real easy. We're gonna drag the oil drain over here. Stick this guy down under our hub assembly. Throw some light on the subject. There we go. Now we can see what we're trying to see. Okay, so here comes the best absolute part possible with this procedure right here. Make it shiny. Get all in there. Nice like. Is it overkill? Yeah, it is, but it's fun. Oh, little beans. And same thing with the actual drum itself. Dump it over, knock all the dust out, give it some spray. I'm upwind, not gonna die from brake clean. There we go. Turn that over, let her drain, let it dry. And then we just roll on over to the other side and repeat said procedure. Yeah, I know, that's the most dramatic use of a spray can ever invented or created or utilized. Because I'm trying to have fun. Sort of. Let's park this right here. Again with the drum. Tell you what, we're gonna recycle brake clean. I'll leave it here, that way all my drippings can drip into this and we can get multiple runs of use out of the brake clean. Because brake clean is expensive, we don't want to waste a bunch of it, right? So we'll let it drip into there and then reuse it. Extra super shiny. Got to make sure you get behind the shoes too, especially at the bottom and around the bearing, all the way in the back, all the way around behind the cylinder. Give the bearing a turn, get behind it on the other side. Beautiful. That was gone. No! I'm okay. Like too much brake clean for that guy. So anyway, let's give this adjuster wheel just a couple clicks here. We'll do 4. 4 clicks is good. I like 4. Now, let's go ahead and fit the drum. Make sure we didn't over-click it. See how it slid on very easily? It still has some play between the drum and the shoes. That's pretty good. And we'll do the same thing over here on the other side. It should have been dry by now, which it is. Surface looks good. No crazy pitting or rust or any of that good stuff. And real quick, 4 more clicks. 3, 4 clicks, there we go. Drum coming in. Look at that. Let's clear all the goodies out of the way. I can throw the rear wheels on because we're done back here and I'm just in limbo waiting for a belt unit to arrive. Come on, wheels and tires. Tire guy skills. Put my nuts on here. Ah! Okay, other tire. I can't do my cool little foot trick on that one. There was a car in the way. There we go. Installed. 5 chromium capped acorn style lugging nuts. Spin these dudes on right here. There we go. Initiating wheel torquing procedure. Loud noises. Okay, let's go let this thing down in preparation for the belt to arrive. Toyota coming down. All right, we're on the ground all the way down. Let's let the rack down. We are done with being up in the air. I changed the oil when you guys weren't looking. I figured you didn't want to see that. You've already seen enough engine oil filter replacements as it is. Light powering on. Okay, so I've got my new belt here. This next section is going to be actually quite easy. So what we need to do is orient the words properly and face the letters towards the front of the engine. It's just a thing I do. And we're going to slide this belt down into its home. And I'm going to start with the crankshaft. I always like to start on the crank. It's like home base for the belts. So what we do is we go around the crank. You guys can't see what I'm doing, I'm really sorry. Down on the alternator pulley, and then we're gonna pull it up over the alternator, and then the last one is going to be that smooth-faced water pump pulley. Let me put some light in there so you can see. I always put the smooth-faced pulley on last because there's big ridges on the ribbed pulleys, and sometimes you can't get the belt over the ridges. But the smooth-faced pulleys, they don't have that ridge, so it's easier to get the thing to slide over in most cases. Oh, come on, belt. Oh, we're off center on the crank back there. It's really dark. Lighting failure. Okay, we're on. There it is. We're on again, and it came off the bottom. This is aggravating because these belts are, it like gets a memory of its position while it's sitting in the package, and then it tries to spring back to that same position when you unbox them. Anyway, we're going over that smooth face pulley. Slide right over. Good. Check in all the other pulleys, making sure it did not come off, and it did not. So now all we need to do is tighten up that alternator and make sure the belt is properly tensioned, lock it down, and we should be good to go. Let's set this up for tightening mode, package. As I tighten this adjuster bolt right here, it's going to draw the top ear of this alternator outwards, and that's going to move the position of the nadir. It's going to move the pulley, and that's going to tighten up on the belt. So there's the witness marks from where the original belt was, which was kind of loose, and right here it's already starting to get tight. So that tells me there was a boatload of stretch in that previous belt. I'm gonna go a little tighter. That feels pretty good. Let's go ahead and lock it down, and then we will restock the engine. Get that guy in there. Clickages. There we go. Okay. All right, you guys wait here again. I'm gonna go restart the engine. We'll listen for the noise. Key on, cranking. Yeah. Beautiful. I love the sound of not squealing. That's good. Let's pop our cover back on. I'm gonna go hit those wheels with a torque wrench real quick and throw the covers back on, and we'll go out and hit the road and make sure that there's no squealy noise coming out of those rear brakes back there. Light bar, powering down. Oh, I never got to finish my complaining about the aftermarket guys in the other shop selling work and then not following through with the conclusion of the symptoms. So that's why it's here. And it's time for torque wrench cam. I think these are 80 pound. Oh, I didn't set the wrench. There we go. 80 foot-pounds. go. Good torque wrench clickages. Next. A little bit, there we go. Good. Okay, torque wrench cam complete. Let's throw our bolt covers back on here. Valve stem in the relief notch. See that little relief notch right there? That's what fits the valve stem. And just kind of give it a push. We don't have to hammer these things on. That will just make them break. And I don't want to break things. Again, relief notch lined up with the valve stem. It goes there. Get in there. Boom. That's a cool sound. So anyway, back to my rant. It's not really a rant. I'm not mad at anybody. Like I said, I'm not disparaging any particular company or entity or person. I just like to point out that when conducting an operation or hunting down some kind of a complaint, you have to verify that when you're done with your operation that you did in fact stop that complaint from occurring. Additionally, you need to have some foundational knowledge on why you're performing that service. You know, for example, the struts. If I have a strut noise and my training and my work environment says, oh, replace struts, well, we can't replace parts that are not known to cause noises, because that's not going to fix the complaint, the issue. Our job is actually customer service. It's not repairs. Our job is to identify the customer's problem and offer solutions to that problem. But if we just throw parts at things without offering a solution or fixing the problem, then we haven't done our job, because our job is in fact customer service. And I guess that's my rant for the day. Now, don't get me wrong, I wasn't always like that. Like, it took a long time to learn that thought process and everything, but this is where training comes into play, and this is where the passing on of knowledge has to come into play, because the newer folks in the industry, they don't understand that. They're just here to, you know, to kind of do whatever the job is, to process the vehicles, to make the money. But it's how we make the money that really matters. And seatbelt, I'm in trouble. Yep, we're back to that again. No seatbelt for Ray. Driving in the wrong lane. Yeah, you guys hear those, I can hear the clunkety clunks on the left front. So anyway, we've got a little bit of speed going here. I'm gonna go ahead and apply the brakes. We're gonna listen for that squealy noise. And I do not hear it. Good. We'll do a few more stops to the neighborhood and make sure that noise is gone. I'm trying to recreate that clunky noise up front, but it's not doing it right now. Regardless, I'm nearly finished with this particular project. It went along very smoothly. A lot of maintenance items that were simply overlooked. A little bit of due diligence could have prevented this situation, I think. And I'm hoping to turn this experience into like a learning tool for the uninitiated, or for those that are they're green to the business or just don't know any better. Point being, I think that very basic fundamental knowledge can go a long way, especially when applied in conjunction with basic problem solving skills and customer service. It's always about customer service. So if we know what we're doing, we know how to do it, and we can service our customer well, that's like the trifecta of goodness. And if we can just focus on those items as we all move forward in this industry, I think that we can do a lot better and save a lot of people some money. We can make ourselves more money through reduction of loss and things of that nature. And ultimately, that's the goal, is to make some cash and move along through our lives and enjoy it while we're doing it. So that being said, I'm about to pull out on the big road as soon as my light turns green, and I'm gonna go ahead and close this video out right now. And I will do that by thanking each and every one of you for watching this video. As always, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything you'd like to add, please feel free to register all that in the comment section down below. Don't forget to tap that like button while you're down there. And most importantly, do not forget to have yourselves a great day. See you guys later. End of Toyota transmission. By the way, I still don't know what those black things are. Are those gunshot detectors or are they just 5G towers? Saw that big tower looking deal back there. I think that's the 5G tower. That thing. The other things, I think those were gunshot detectors. Yeah, there's another one over here. I'll show it to you in a second. Yeah, that thing. That thing right there. I don't think that's a cell phone tower. What is that? It's gotta be a gunshot detector. Oh, there's the rattle noise. As soon as the terrain becomes slightly unstable, yep, there it is. We get that rattly, clunky noise. It's centralized at the firewall area and it sounds up high, leading me to conclude that it is a faulty strut mount. Could have been a cheapo strut mount. If they did replace it, it could just be a cheapo. Or even there's a possibility that the bolt is not torqued down all the way and it's allowing the strut to actually move around within the mount. It could be that as well. But since that job was just performed, just paid for, and just completed not long ago, like I said earlier, I'm going to recommend that those people that had originally performed the work be afforded the opportunity to correct the error and make it right. And no reason, or by no means am I making this video to kind of cut